A perfectly normal driver. No speeding, no reckless behavior, nothing unusual at all. And yet, within 90 seconds of being pulled over in 2026, they walked away with a $500 fine and a suspended license, all because of a law that did not exist 12 months ago. And here is the part that should concern you directly. Law number 3 on this list has already generated over 12,000 citations across the country in just the first few months of 2026, and the majority of those drivers had absolutely no idea they were doing anything wrong. If you want to make sure you are not next, hit that subscribe button right now, because this channel tracks these law changes every single week. And stay with me, because what I am about to show you could save your license, your money, and your driving record starting today. A perfectly normal driver, no speeding, no reckless behavior, nothing unusual at all. And yet, within 90 seconds of being pulled over in 2026, they walked away with a $500 fine and a suspended license, all because of a law that did not exist 12 months ago. And here is the part that should concern you directly. Law number 3 on this list has already generated over 12,000 citations across the country in just the first few months of 2026, and the majority of those drivers had absolutely no idea they were doing anything wrong. If you want to make sure you are not next, hit that subscribe button right now, because this channel tracks these law changes every single week. And stay with me, because what I am about to show you could save your license, your money, and your driving record starting today. Here is what makes 2026 different from every other year of driving law updates you have ever seen. Most years bring minor adjustments. A speed limit here, a fine increase there. This year is different. This year, states across the country simultaneously rolled out a collection of structural changes that affect how you drive, what you place inside your car, how your vehicle is monitored, and in some cases, whether your car will physically allow you to drive at all. The drivers getting hit hardest are not reckless drivers. They are careful drivers, experienced drivers, people who have been behind the wheel for 10, 20, even 30 years and built habits that were perfectly legal until January 2026, when everything shifted underneath them without warning. So let us go through all 10 of these new laws right now, starting from the ones that seem minor but are quietly catching thousands of people, and building toward the top 3 that are causing the most serious damage to drivers across the country right now. The first change involves traffic light enforcement, and it is catching people who are doing exactly what they were always taught to do. 14 states have now synchronized high-resolution enforcement cameras directly with traffic signal systems, and these cameras are precise down to the exact millisecond a light turns red. For years, most systems allowed a small half-second buffer, a realistic window that gave drivers a fair chance to clear an intersection safely. That buffer is completely gone in 2026. If your rear tires are even slightly behind the stop line when the light changes, the system automatically generates a citation. No officer, no warning, no human judgment involved at all. Just a ticket mailed to your house with photographic evidence. In states like Florida and New York, these violations are now being reported directly to insurance companies, meaning one wrong decision at one intersection could quietly cost you far more in premium increases over the next 3 years than the ticket itself ever would. The second change is about your phone, and it goes much further than anything you've heard before. Several states, including California, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, have moved to what is called primary enforcement for device handling. That means an officer, or more commonly now an AI-assisted camera mounted on an overpass or patrol vehicle, does not need any other reason to cite you. If your phone is in your hand while your vehicle is running on a public road, that is enough. Red light, traffic jam, drive-through lane, it does not matter. And these camera systems can detect device holding even briefly. One quick glance down to change a song and you have already crossed the line. The fines are frustrating, but the bigger threat comes after an accident. If evidence shows your phone was in your hand, and even if you were not at fault, insurance companies now have the legal leverage to argue you contributed to the situation. That can mean reduced payouts or denied claims on accidents you did not even cause. The third law, and this is the one that is generating the most citations right now, is about your license plate. And what makes this so dangerous is how completely normal the violation looks. In 2026, multiple states have reclassified any form of license plate obstruction as a serious offense, and the definition of obstruction has expanded dramatically. We are not talking about deliberately hiding your plate. We are talking about dealership frames that slightly cover the state name, decorative frames that overlap registration stickers, clear plastic covers that people installed simply to protect against weather and dirt. All of it. In states including Texas, Virginia, New York, Colorado, Washington, Illinois, Georgia, and Michigan, these violations can now escalate well beyond a fine. In certain jurisdictions, a license plate obstruction is being treated as a felony-level offense, especially if there is any suggestion the obstruction could help a vehicle avoid toll cameras or automated enforcement systems. That means potential court appearances, thousands of dollars in legal fees, and in some cases a permanent mark on your record over something that came standard on a car you bought used. The fix is simple and it is immediate. Remove every frame, remove every cover, remove every extra. Your plate needs to be exactly as issued, nothing added and nothing attached, because this is the law that is catching the most people right now, and it is doing it without any warning whatsoever. The fourth change involves phone mount placement, and it is affecting millions of drivers who thought they were doing everything right. 17 states have introduced specific laws that dictate exactly where inside your vehicle a phone is allowed to be positioned. And the language sounds reasonable at first. Your device cannot obstruct your view of the road traffic signals or pedestrians. The problem is how strictly that is now being interpreted. In California, Arizona, and Florida, mounting your phone in the center of your windshield, even tucked just below your rear view mirror, is now officially classified as obstructing your forward field of vision. The only consistently safe placement zones are the lower right corner of your windshield or directly on your dashboard. Anywhere else is now a gray area that enforcement is no longer treating as gray, and the real consequences show up after accidents. There was a case in Phoenix where a driver was rear-ended at a stoplight, completely not their fault, but their phone was center-mounted on the windshield. Insurance companies used that detail to cut their payout by 40%. A minor setup decision turned into thousands of dollars lost over an accident they did not cause. The fifth change is about your windshield wipers, and this one is so simple that thousands of drivers are getting caught without ever being pulled over. In 29 states, the rule is now absolute. If your windshield wipers are on, your headlights must also be on. No exceptions for daytime driving, no exceptions for light drizzle, no exceptions for intermittent use. Wipers on means headlights on, period. And here is the critical mistake most people make. They assume their daytime running lights satisfy this requirement. They do not. Daytime running lights only illuminate the front of your vehicle at reduced brightness. This law requires full headlight activation, including your rear tail lights. Traffic cameras in several states can now detect wiper motion and compare it to your lighting status. And if your tail lights are off, you can receive a mailed citation days later with visual evidence. You will not even know it happened until the ticket arrives. The sixth change involves the Move Over law, and it has expanded far beyond emergency vehicles. As of January 2026, what is being called the All-Vehicle Move Over law requires that if you see any vehicle on the shoulder with hazard lights activated, a stranded driver, a tow truck, a delivery van, anyone, you must either move out of the nearest lane or reduce your speed by at least 20 miles per hour below the posted limit. In some jurisdictions, failing to comply is no longer classified as a traffic infraction. It is reckless endangerment, which means higher fines, points on your license, and mandatory court appearances. Patrol vehicles are now equipped with side-facing cameras specifically designed to catch drivers who fail to respond properly to shoulder situations. The seventh change affects your driving record timeline in ways that make past violations far more dangerous going forward. States including New York, Illinois, and Florida have expanded the window during which violations count against your license from 18 months to 24 months. At the same time, point values for specific violations have increased significantly. In New York, passing a stopped school bus has gone from 5 points to 8. Speeding in a construction zone is now an automatic 8 points in some areas, regardless of how far over the limit you were. And in 38 states, any moving violation in a marked construction zone now carries double the point impact, not double the fine, but double the damage to your license. These zones do not require active workers to be present. If the signs are up, the zone is active and the enhanced penalties apply. The eighth change is about items hanging from your rearview mirror. 14 states have enforced stricter obstruction laws, and the rule is unforgiving. If anything is hanging from your mirror and it is visible to an officer, it can be considered a violation. Air fresheners, parking passes, religious symbols, dealership tags, all of it. The fine itself is relatively small, but that is not the real risk. The real risk is that it gives law enforcement probable cause to initiate a traffic stop. And once that stop happens, everything else in your vehicle comes under scrutiny. Take everything down from your mirror. Today, the ninth change involves drivers over the age of 65. Several states have begun implementing mandatory cognitive screening as part of license renewal. What used to be a simple vision test now includes digital assessments, measuring reaction time, spatial awareness, and decision-making speed. Additionally, new physician reporting requirements in certain areas mean doctors are now legally obligated to notify the DMV if they observe signs of cognitive decline that could affect driving safety. For many seniors, driving represents independence, and that independence is now tied to passing an increasingly complex and ongoing evaluation process. The 10th change, and this is the one that represents the biggest shift in the entire history of driving regulation, involves technology built directly into your vehicle. Starting with 2026 model year cars, a federal mandate requires advanced impaired driving detection systems to be integrated into the vehicle itself. Inside the car, sensors and cameras continuously monitor your eye movement, your head position, your steering patterns, and your lane consistency. If the system determines your behavior crosses a certain threshold, it does not just alert you. It can actively prevent the vehicle from operating. The car can decide you are not fit to drive and act on that decision without your input. And in certain states, law enforcement has begun integrating with vehicle systems to allow remote intervention during high-risk situations. The concept of who controls your vehicle is no longer limited to the person in the driver's seat. Here is your complete action plan. Remove everything from your license plate, no frames, no covers, no extras. Reposition your phone mount to your dashboard or lower right windshield. Build the automatic habit. Wipers on means headlights on every single time. Remove everything hanging from your rearview mirror right now. Verify your insurance is active and set up automatic payments so a missed bill never creates a lapse. Take every construction zone as zero tolerance, even when no workers are visible. Understand your vehicle's data tracking settings and know what is being monitored. And if you are 65 or older, research your state's renewal requirements so you are fully prepared before your next renewal date. These laws are already active. They are already being enforced, and not knowing them will not protect you from their consequences. What will protect you is exactly what you just did. Staying informed before the system catches up to you. Subscribe to this channel so you never get blindsided by a law change again. Because the drivers who stay ahead of these updates are the ones who keep their licenses, their money, and their freedom on the road.